Okay, we are live, the Empowered Mom Coffee Break, and excited that you're here with us. I'm Marisol, Garden State Mama from the Garden State of New Jersey, and we've just got a couple of moms because it is summertime. We're all really crazy busy, but we definitely wanted to continue to take the time to take a break with you. So glad you're here, and take it away, Greta.
Hello, everybody. My name is Greta Campagnolo, and I am the Island Mama from Vancouver Island, BC, Canada. And I am super excited to be here. As Marisol mentioned, you know, we're all busy. I'm sure you're just as busy as we are being a mom. It's just the name of the game. And for those of you who have kids in school, they're likely home and running around and screaming and laughing and fighting and all the crazy stuff going on. So we've got a really great hot topic for you, or some really great hot topics for you. And also our main topic for the show today is awesome. So you're going to want to stick around for that because we're going to be giving you some really good tips.
Today we decided to switch it up and do some good news hot topics because, you know, it's always nice to have something to make you smile. So we were hunting around, and what we found is, I want to give a big shout out to Carolyn Dennison James. Carolyn is a school teacher for 35 years. She's been a school teacher, and one of her mentors and someone who really changed her life and made her want to become a teacher was her music teacher. So her music teacher was Marty Hayes. So she went, you know, and tried to find Marty, and she found Marty. Now, she's 62 years old, and this was her high school teacher. So you can imagine Marty's a lot older than she is, right? But when she found Marty, she found that he had dementia, and he was in a home, and he wasn't really being cared for. And it broke her heart because this was a man who inspired so many people who, she said throughout high school, all the kids loved him. He was just wonderful with every single child, making them feel special. And so what she did in turn was she took him out of that home and she became his caregiver because she wanted him to have a life that he gave others. He gave others so much hope, and he made them believe in themselves, and he really uplifted them. And to see him in the condition he was in broke her heart. And instead of leaving him there and just maybe visiting with him, she actually took it upon herself to say, no, I am not going to allow this amazing man, dementia or not, to live this kind of a life after everything he's given. And she took him in. So she's his caregiver now. So shout out to Carolyn. That is freaking awesome.
Definitely. I think that is so amazing. Such an amazing story, and it's just it is sad to see. You know, my own grandmother is in a home and in a care facility, and it's hard to see all these people there. And you know, thankfully we have lots of family around, and we go and we're able to go and visit her, and lots of us, her grandchildren, have families of their own now, so we are busy and have full houses, and you know, it's for me and that's she's got Alzheimer's and dementia, and she's actually 96 this year, and
Wow.
she's lived a very full life and given so much to others. She raised 4 kids of her own, and always had cousins and other relatives and people that weren't related coming and staying in her home with her children in a very small, tiny home. And you know, I feel it's imperative, you know, for us to kind of step up, and when we see this happening and see these people in homes, you know, they're still here for a reason. They made a huge impact. Why not, you know, give back and give them what they deserve at the end of their life, at the end of their road? And we can still, I mean, we learn so much from this, and I think it's amazing that it's Carolyn that you did this, and it says a lot about your character, obviously, and he's gonna. It makes me feel happy and warm in my heart to know that this man that gave so much is gonna have the opportunity to be really cared for and treated well at the end of his road.
Yeah, so shout out to Carolyn Dennison James because that was really awesome. Not something she had to do, but something she felt moved to do because of how he impacted her life. So, yeah, just remember, what you put out, you do get back, you know. So he put out good in his life, and you know, at the end of the line, at the end of the road here, you know, at the end of his journey, now he's getting it back, which is amazing. So yeah, that's great. The other thing we found, which I thought was really cool, was there is a Padres fan, big time fan, who's been a fan all her life. Well, guess what? She's 105 years old, so that's a long time to be a Padres fan. And so just the other day, she was able to be on the mound at a Padres game and be the oldest person to ever throw the first pitch so at a game. So yes, that was pretty exciting. I actually saw the video. If you want to look it up, it's 105-year-old and Padres. If you Google that, you'll find her. We can even put the link on our group. But she was so proud. She was so excited. And to be able to, you know, give that to someone who's 105 years old, that joy, that excitement, you know, someone who's been a fan for that long, is pretty exciting. So, yeah, I thought that was so adorable. Agnes McKee of Oceanside, California. So she threw out the first ceremonial pitch at the San Diego's game on Sunday. So that was pretty cool. I thought that was great.
There must have been one big roaring crowd at that game and during that moment for her. It must have been amazing.
Yeah, so I mean, some people know what it is to be a fan, but to be 105 years old and be able to get out on the mound and throw a first pitch physically is pretty amazing by itself, you know. But to have that thrill of, you know, after all this time in your life being a fan, to be out there and throwing the first pitch, you know, that's pretty exciting at 105 years old. I'm excited for her.
You know, when you put it that way, I actually thought about it because I was thinking 105, 105, but then that really hit me. Like, she's 105 and she's throwing the first pitch at this game. Like, she's actually physically doing it. So, yeah, that's pretty amazing for sure.
I'll put the link up in the group for you guys to see. She is so adorable too. She's really cute.
Oh, I bet.
I'm so happy. But yeah, I love those feel-good stories. I love to smile and laugh and feel all warm inside. And so we're going to be hunting some more feel-good stories for you when we do our Hot Topics. Just to make you smile, just to make you feel good, because, you know, there's just too much around us to put us down and make us feel bad. And, you know, there's lots of news out there that we could be sharing with you today that's depressing. And I didn't want to get depressed today. I wanted to be uplifted. So I hope those two stories uplifted you. So, Greta, with that, you want to take it away with our main topic?
Sure. Yes. So this is a really great topic, and I know it's going to be awesome for you. I know it's going to hit home for you. We are going to be talking about tips and tricks on how to help your kids keep their rooms clean. I was going to say keep your room clean. I guess, you know, that's one thing that's really important, I think, is being an example for our kids. If we want them to keep their rooms clean, then it should really, I mean, admittedly, we need to keep our rooms clean as well. And I know that it can be really tough. It can be really tough because we're running around making sure that everybody else's rooms are clean, and, you know, going in there and, you know, whoever, Isaiah, Noah, those are my kids, a couple of my kids, you know, getting at them constantly all day long. I'm reminding you that you need to clean your room. You know, for me, instead of having to do that constantly all day long, what I have done, and I'm just going to share one little tip before I pass it off to Marisol, because she is like the tip queen when it comes to these sorts of things. Her kids are older than mine, and so she's been through the ropes for sure. So for me, one of the things that I've done is created a schedule, and and until that schedule became, you know, like our daily rhythm, where I don't have to get at them all the time, that's what I had to do. So I had to lay it out very simple for them. This is what happens in the morning. This is what happens. You know, we keep things organized throughout the day instead of leaving it just like at one time of the day, because I found that when we did it that way, things became way too overwhelming. The messes were just way too big. And so definitely creating a routine that works for you and your family is really, really important and beneficial, as far as like having that, you know, that keeping their rooms clean, and it makes them feel better too. And that's the thing, is pointing that out when they do it, when it's done, once they've, like, you know, accomplished that feat, because sometimes it's really bad. They then, you know, they then get excited. Yeah, it's hard, and you just have to be consistent, and you have to be firm, and you have to just make them do it until it's done, even if they're complaining and whining and crying. I went through this just yesterday for hours, and you just have to just keep pushing through and keep calm about it, and just keep pushing through and making suggestions. And I made a list, actually, yesterday. I made a list of what could stay in their rooms, and then they knew, okay. And then they kept saying, well, can I keep this? Well, is it on the list? No. Okay, well, then they go back and they keep looking at the list, you know, kind of making a game out of it as well. And then, you know, eventually it gets done. Kind of throw out your expectations, and in the end, when it's time for me to come and look, they feel proud, and they forget about how hard it was. They forget about all the work that it was, and they just feel proud of themselves, and they feel better with a clean environment, and they did it. They accomplished it. So I'm going to pass it off to you, Marisol, to give some tips as well.
Well, I agree with you, Greta, that it's important to set a good example. You can't have a tornado in your bedroom and then tell the kids to go clean their room. You know what I mean? Because they're going to look at you like, you know, there's something not right here. I'm going to do what you say, not what you. I'm going to do what you do, not what you say. We always say, you know, we have to definitely be an example. So keeping our own things in order, and also not just their room, but having them help out in the living room or in the kitchen. You know, after we eat, we all clean up together. You know, now as my kids got older, you know, if someone cooked, someone else had the dishes, someone else had, you know, everybody had different chores. So in terms of the house, you know, having a chore list is great. But in terms of their actual individual rooms, first of all, when they're really little, the Barney song works great every time, okay? Because we just start singing, clean up, everybody, everywhere. And it puts them right in a happy mood, and we clean up. But we clean up together when they're younger. And I let them do a lot of the stuff, and as they get older, you start doing less and less and less. So it is important to kind of do things together in the beginning when they're younger, so that they know what's expected of them, and then that you back off as they get older and allow them to take over. So I never, even when they were super, super little, of course, unless they couldn't do it at all, but I always let them help me, whether it was just to pick one thing up and put it in the basket while I held the basket. We always did it together, so that they had the concept that it was their responsibility, and Mommy's there to help them clean their room.
Yeah.
So the other thing is if you give kids a sense of pride in their place, you know, let them go buy a shelf if spacing is a problem, and let them paint the shelf, or, you know, grab a bunch of crates, and, you know, you could build stackable crates and have them put things in there. But let them kind of design their own room and their own space where they're going to put things. And when you give them that control, instead of you going in and saying, okay, I'm going to arrange your room, and this is how I want everything to be, and this is where I want everything to be, kind of giving them the option of, okay, so where would you like this? Now where are we gonna keep your toy bin, or where are we gonna put your books, or where are we gonna, you know what I mean? Like if they make those decisions, then all of a sudden it becomes theirs, and they can take pride and ownership in, you know, how they're gonna clean their room because they've decided where they're gonna put what. Of course, with your help, but you let them think it was their decision. You know what I mean? You might coax them into, you know, or giving them suggestions, but when they take that ownership, it makes a difference when they're cleaning their room. And
I absolutely agree with that. Absolutely.
Yeah, that pride of place. So the other thing I would say is to definitely make it clear, what does it mean to clean the room? Because you could say clean the room, and I'll take one pile over here and I'll just put it in the corner over there, and I'll think my room is clean because I took it away from the door. No, that's not, no. But if you very specifically say, make your bed, put your laundry in the hamper, hang up clothes, put your toys away, vacuum the floor if they're old enough, you know what I mean? Specifically lay out what does it mean to clean the room, then there's no argument there, because either they did it or they didn't. And there was a clear direction of what they should have been doing. So that's really important. Kids need direction. Kids need clear things. And even if you think that they know or that they should know, there's sometimes at that age where they want to, you know, they've got that wiggle room. If you didn't establish clear, you know, communication or a clear list of what you wanted them to do, there's that wiggle room that, well, you didn't tell me to do that, or I didn't know I had to do that, even though you know they knew. But they could say that because you didn't give them a specific list, or you don't have a specific, you know, set regimen, like you were saying, like the schedule or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And, you know, a place for everything in its place, and, you know, a lot of really positive reinforcement. You know, there's a lot of parents I see, they're like, well, your room is a mess, this is ridiculous, and, you know, and they're yelling at the kids about, so it's not going to make the kids happy about cleaning the room because it just got yelled at. You know what I mean? But going into the room, taking a deep breath, because you know, maybe a dirty room, or when the room is a tornado, maybe that sets you off. But to know you're going into a room that's a tornado that might set you off, get yourself in a place where it's not going to set you off, and you go in and you just laugh and you smile, say, oh, wow, look at this room. What happened in here? All right, now you know it's time to clean up. Let's go. You know what I mean? And your attitude, it makes all the difference in their attitude. So if you go into a dirty room and you're yelling about the room being a mess, they're not going to be happy about cleaning it, and they're going to have attitude, and they're going to, you know, give you back what you gave them. So if you go in happy and laughing and you're like, whoa, what happened in here? You know what I mean? And making jokes and, you know, helping a little bit and then stepping out, now all of a sudden the atmosphere is different, and they're more than happy to clean because you're happy and you're laughing, and they're not in trouble. They just have to do what they have to do because that's what their responsibility is. So that makes a big difference too, is what your attitude is, because trust me, you get what you give. And I think you know that as a parent.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. I knew I was here for a reason today. You know, I'm guilty of being that mom that goes in there and does that. Like, what is this? And
you know what? I absolutely was too, Greta, but I learned from experience that it makes such a huge difference when you joke about it and lighten the mood. Then the kids, it just lifts that you know, that atmosphere. And trust me when I tell you that I had to go get my act together before I confronted the kid about cleaning the room, because my initial response is, this is ridiculous, they should know better than this. What on earth, are you kidding me? You know what I mean? But that never got anything good coming out of it, never. So I had to see that dirty room, step outside of myself, scream in a pillow if I had to, do whatever I had to get it out of me, so that I could come with an attitude of laughter and joking and, whoa, what happened in here? You know what I mean? And making jokes about what could have happened in here, scenarios that were funny, that would make them laugh too. Yeah. And they know the room shouldn't look like that. You know what I mean? Now all of a sudden it is a completely different atmosphere. They're not angry with you. You're not angry with them. And the room gets clean better and quicker. From what from my experience, when I came in with that kind of an attitude.
Definitely. I definitely, I hear you. I mean, it works for everything, not just with our kids, you know, in any relationship. Like, if you come at somebody with a negative attitude, you're going to get negative back. If you come at them with positive, chances are you're going to get positive back. It's just the way it works. I don't know why, but that's just how it works. It's just that transference of energy. And one other thing that I have done as well, that may help you, it may work for you, it may not, take it or leave it. What we've done with our bedrooms is exactly that. Our rooms are meant for sleeping. So we went from having everything under the sun in our bedrooms, in our kids' bedrooms, to having a bed, having a dresser, having some books, having a desk, and a lamp, you know, and keeping everything else out of the bedroom. They have a designated area where they keep all their stuff. They, you know, because I have 6 kids, if all 6 of them were to have all their stuff in their rooms, it would just be absolute chaos, and it wouldn't even be organized chaos anymore. It would just be so overwhelming for them and for us. So if you're like us, then that tip may help you to just keep it very simple. Simplify your life. It feels so much better. You don't need to have all that stuff up there. You know, I don't really want them running around upstairs, jumping off the beds, and, you know, a lot of times when I do that, when they do that, you know, somebody gets hurt. So I keep them down, you know, where I am in my space, in the kitchen. You know, that's where I spend most of my time. And they're in the living room, they're in the yard, I can see where they are. They don't need to be in their bedrooms where their beds are. They just don't. If they want to have some quiet time and do some reading, have a few minutes, then they can go and do that, as long as I know where they are, what they're doing. And yeah, because with kids of all ages, especially the really little ones, when you have felts upstairs, which this just happened because that rule got broken, because that will happen as well. There was, beautiful pictures, not on paper, but on the walls. And that, for me, just doesn't jive. So, so that's another reason why we keep those things in those designated areas in the house. And it keeps things more organized. It keeps mommy more sane. And I know as a mom, we all could use a little bit more sanity.
Absolutely. One thing I want to pick up on is something you said earlier about going through stuff that you don't have to keep. You know, when it's, birthday time or Christmas time and they're getting new toys or getting new things, it's really time to go through the old things and give away to people who may need some stuff.
Yeah.
And really, teach your children that they don't need a lot of stuff. They don't need to hoard and pile their room with stuff and hang on to every single thing they've ever had. That when new things come in, it's really time to share and to, take those things that are gently used and share with people who could use them and who need them. And, when you're getting new clothes, not to keep piling clothes upon clothes, but to give those other clothes away and to really simplify, like you said, and really keep things so that there's not so much stuff.
Yeah, and you don't have to take that on yourself as a mom either. You don't have to do it all. That's the thing. We think of all these things that we have to do. Don't take all these suggestions as what you have to do. Oh, that's another thing that oh my gosh, that's so overwhelming. I already do so much. Like, when do I have time to go through all the kids' stuff? You don't have to do it. The kids can do it. And even at a younger age, too, they know what they like, what they don't like. You can see they want to wear the same thing every single day if they could, Practically by the time my kids are done wearing their stuff, it's like I have to peel it off of them. Like, come on, guys. They have their favorite things. And yeah, keep those favorite things, even if they are ratty and stuff like that. They love those things, and that's fine. I'm good with that. But yeah, Marisol, that's really great advice, and that is what we like to do, and it makes them feel good too. And they can say, when they're going through their stuff, oh, like, I really like this, but you know what? somebody else is going to really enjoy it. And that's what helps me as well get rid of my stuff, even if like I'm keeping it for sentimental value. And then I think, you know what? Somebody else can get just as much joy out of this as I did, you know? And that's, you know, yeah, out with the old, in with the new, and yeah, and just keep, like, I'm all about simplifying, and, you know, we don't need all these things. And as I'm sitting here saying that, I'm thinking about all these things that are all over that I'd really like to get rid of. Yeah. So.
I know with my older kids, it helps a lot to put on some music and just like have them dance to their chores and cleaning. I'm sure just like with you and I, whenever I'm doing my chores, I like music to be on. I like, you know, to be upbeat and stuff like that. So with the older kids, even with the younger kids, when it's cleanup time, we turn on some music and we just have fun with it, guys. Don't let it stress you out. Don't let it be a stress factor in your life. Don't let it be something that's between you and your kids. That's always an argument. It's always a problem. It can be something that's fun. It could be something that's loving. It could be something, hey, it's something that we all have to do. The rooms have to get clean, you know? And so how you choose to position yourself and your kids is going to make all the difference in the world. You can make it fun, you can make it light, and that's what you should do to make it easier on yourself and on your kids.
Definitely. Yeah, that's awesome. I feel like I just feel like I can walk away from this, like, because it's an everyday thing that we have to do. Let's just face it, it's something we have to do every single day, and that's what I remind the kids. It's just something that we have to do every day, so we may as well somehow find some way of making it joyful. And I love that I'm reminded again of the music. And when I call up my mom and I'm frustrated, or, you know, she says the same thing to me. And it's funny because if she calls me up and she's like, you know, this is what's going on, I'm like, Mom, just put on some music. You know, it makes you feel good. And just go with it. You know, it's got to get done and make it fun. I say the same thing to my mom, who's 66 years old. You know, it's just sometimes cleaning up isn't, you know, just thinking about it is kind of, you know, but we can make it fun, like Marisol said, and kick it up a notch and listen to the music that makes us feel inspired and motivated. And I know for me, it feels awesome to get stuff done and clean. It just it clears my mind as well as on the outside. So definitely recommend getting some fun cleaning going on today.
And don't forget, the most important part is when the room is clean, the praise and the joy and the, you know, really putting those kids, making them feel like they are just amazing for the job they did. Even if behind their back you might have to go and pick something up when they're younger, don't let them know that. Just let them know they are amazing. They did a fabulous job, because that's going to help for the next time that you ask them to clean up. So I think that's our show for today. We're going to wrap this up. I'm so glad you joined us. And don't forget to stay tuned for the next coffee break every Thursday, 2 p.m. Eastern.
Awesome. And always be a mommy inspired.
Absolutely. Bye, everybody.
Bye.